Hey, we're on, guys. This is the morning report. It's actually 8:27 in the morning, and checking my hair, making sure that we look good. Okay, yeah. I think the last practice one I did, I had my hair sticking up. So here we are. This is the morning report, and I want you guys to be honest too. If you don't like this, if you think it's a waste of your time, then let me know. I got a lot of things to talk about. I brought this today. I have a guitar, and there's a reason. I have a reason why, but a little bit of blues. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things I want to talk about. I have a lot of stories to share, of course. I got some feedback about this on the first one, and that's very encouraging. So, like I said, I need you to tell me if it does or doesn't work. But yeah, I have stories to share. I got Norman stories, my dad. I'm not going to tell that story now, but he got a new phone, clamshell. They still make them. And he wanted a clamshell. He didn't want a smartphone. He doesn't know how they work. We actually got him on FaceTime because we can't go see him. He's at the nursing home. So he's still healthy. He's still good. Still paying attention and knows numbers and very smart, but he didn't quite know how FaceTime works, but it was pretty cool. So I'll share that story later too. Hang on, I'm popular. Yeah, my phone. So, but yeah, there's a lot going on, and I think I wanted to talk about people before the weekend, and I can even make another update, a Saturday morning report or something like that. But I thought, enough people are talking about how stressed they are, and this is stressful under the best of conditions, right? I mean, being at home with your family. My wife and I have a theory from a long time ago, how we know that even with your best friends, that going on vacation with your best friends can still be tough. Going on vacation with your family, even if you all get along, is still tough. Even when things are good, you're on vacation, doing something relaxing, isn't always that relaxing, So being at home under these conditions and having to stay in the house, not being able to have people come in, having to share computers or share the phone or just be in the same room, man, I know that's tough. So I want to share, because some people have told me on email, hey, Benway, my anxiety level is pretty high, or I can't do this, this is terrible, or my stress is just off the charts. So people are telling me that, hey, it's a rainy day, so, now what? Well, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I do have some. One of the things I do is I play guitar, right? You've heard that before. So, okay, you heard the guitar. But I discovered guitar when I was like a senior in high school, and I don't know how that story all goes together. I know there was a pair of running spikes, $50, a guitar, and a girl named Sue. And I don't know if I gave her the $50 or she owed me $50, but somehow all of that happened in one day. I got a guitar. That's all I remember. I don't know where the money went one way or the other, but I got a guitar. And I didn't have any lessons. I played violin when I was a kid, but that didn't really make sense to do it with guitar. But I loved it. I loved playing guitar. But I also knew that I had to learn how to sing, or at least sing when I play guitar. I said, because I'm not going to be just playing guitar. I wanted to do it because I don't know, I just wanted to play guitar. Nobody in my family ever played anything musical, really. But I learned, and it took a while. It was really tough because I didn't get any lessons. All I had was like a book or two. It's not like YouTube now. You can find anything on the internet. But I do it now. I have a little studio over there, actually, just like I have an amp and stuff. But I love it. And my family knows that I tell them, I said, I'm going downstairs to play guitar. And they know it's going to be loud. I'm going to play the Doors or the Beatles or John Cougar or, you know, who knows what. Loud, probably. But, you know, after like 15 minutes, I feel like I got it out of my system. Like I felt better. You know, I go upstairs and they're like, you know, you're more cheerful. I'm like, yeah, I got this guitar out of my system. I had to play. Sometimes I do that 2 or 3 times a day. Now, sorry, you don't have to learn how to play guitar. You know, find what works for you. The other thing that works for me, though, is this guy, is harmonica. I'll play a little, of course. So that's what I do. Sometimes I do play downstairs. Harmonica is easy. I will show you guys how to play harmonica. If you want to, you know, you'd have to buy one. Buy a C harmonica. Don't pay over $20. But you can play like that before you know it. So I would love to have a harmonica band at the high school. I can teach you blues way faster than you think. Okay? And if any of you play piano or guitar, you call me or text me and we can figure something out. Anyway, why am I showing you all that? Those are 2 ways that I blow off steam, that I look forward to so that I can just get it out of my system. But you don't have to do that, you know. My daughter makes canvases, just little art things. She's not an art major, but she just bought some paints and she makes these little pictures for people, and sometimes she puts little Bible verses or something on there, or just, you know, a little encouraging phrase, and she gives them away. People love that, you know. My wife gets on the phone and she talks to her friends. That's what she does. My nephew plays video games. That's what he does. My son has lots of hobbies. He taught himself how to make bread. He taught himself how to make kombucha, whatever that is, right? Find something that you can do that works for you. So what do you do if you don't have those, you know? I'm not much of a reader. Like, I'm not the guy who's going to sit there and read Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, or I'm just not. I'm not that guy. But I said maybe I should be. So I found a book I like on Winston Churchill. This is tough. Big, thick book. I'm going to read this 1,000-page book. But I don't have to read the whole book. And it's taken me about 5 or 6 times to finally be able to sit down in the living room, read a book, and maybe have people in the house. Or at least in the room. That's hard. I'm way too distractible. Okay? But eventually I got good at it. And it worked. Cleared my mind of whatever was going on. You say, yeah, but it's reading. You know what? Reading isn't bad. Don't be like that. Okay? And I'm learning about leadership, and I'm learning about World War II, and I'm not even a history buff. But the point is I found something that worked. Okay? Now, there's another thing I want to share with you. And I've shared with some of you. And I've shared this with principals and teachers. You know, because principals and teachers, they're pretty stressed too, you know. And I've shared this a few times. I'm not a meditation guy. I don't do yoga. I might stretch. I'm not a yoga guy. I'm not a meditation guy by any means. But I tried. I bought a couple apps or put a couple apps on my phone, and I'd listen to them, and they would creep me out. They would. Some guy whispering in my ear about how to breathe, how to relax my toes, and then my feet. No, that's not working. So I said, but there must be something good about this, because people are always talking about how good meditation is. I said, well, I'm not doing yoga. I'm not doing that. And the meditation apps weren't working for me. And I said, well, all they keep saying is you got to focus. Sometimes I can focus. Like if I'm solving a problem, maybe I can focus. If I'm reading science, okay, probably. I'm watching a movie, total focus. Movies, yeah, that's my escape. But meditation. So I said, well, wait a minute. Okay, I'm a busy guy, and I don't sit still for very long, and I get up at 5 a.m. So what works for me? So I Googled on YouTube meditation timed video, or spa music timed, 15-minute timed, whatever it was. because I knew that I didn't want to watch it for like 20 minutes, and I found one that it stopped after 15 minutes. Cool, then I would be done. So I did. I started watching it, and here's what I did. Turned off all the lights, got in a quiet room, listened to it, put my headphones on, and I'm watching this video. It's got a seashore, clouds, trees, a dock, cloud, whatever. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I just stared at it. In the first 5 minutes, they always tell you when you do meditation, you're going to get distracted like a monkey. You're just going to be all over the place. And so I'm watching this video, and I said, okay, I'm walking on that dock. That's me. It shows this peaceful dock. I can send you the link. And I'm on this dock. Okay, walking barefoot on a Friday afternoon. All right, this is kind of cool. All right. And so the next scene was a picture of rocks balancing, and I said, oh, that was me. I balanced those rocks. I could balance rocks. And okay, so every scene I put myself into it. That's me walking in the forest. Or what if I were walking on the shore? Or if I saw a dock, you know what actually relaxes me is, what if I helped build that dock? Right? Whatever works for you. Okay? So I did 2 or 3 of those, and I didn't know if they worked. My family didn't say, boy, you are so relaxed. It didn't really happen like that. But what happened was I tried it for about 2 or 3 days, 1 or 2 times a day. Just, hey, I'm invested. I want to do this. And 3 days later, after I started doing this, I'm in a car with 7th graders. I'm taking a group of 7th grade kids to a soccer activity over at the golf course. And they're nuts, okay? They're out of their minds. And I'm driving, and I wasn't really losing my mind, but it was getting a little crazy. I mean, if you've lived with 7th graders, come on. And I remember, and I looked up, and there were clouds. And instantly, my brain went back, and it's like my brain said, oh yeah, you were relaxed this morning. And it was like it was there in reserve for me. Like my brain went back there, and I got calm. And I started to laugh, and I said, well, I'm going to look at trees. So I'm driving, I see some trees, and my brain said, oh yeah, remember those relaxing trees that you saw this morning? You're back there, man. And it worked. I mean, it kind of worked. I said, this is crazy. I said, this is how it works, I want you to try it. You don't have to try it. I'm telling you, I think it works. And they talk about breathing. So I started to do that too. Just breathe however you want, but just pay attention to it, and relax. You don't have to listen to somebody else tell you how to do it, but you do it. Do what works for you. And later on, it's like your brain says, oh yeah, you have that in reserve. You have that saved up. So go back and get it right now. So if you need to be relaxed, your brain will go back to where you were looking at pine trees or whatever your video is. I suggest, I don't like having people in mind. I don't like having music with words because that's way too distracting. I like still pictures, but there's some really good stuff out there, some really good scenery. You pick what works, okay? So guys, that's my morning report. I know enough of you are stressed that was definitely worth my time, but I want you guys to give me an honest report and say, hey, Benway, your videos are a waste of time, or I don't like them, or you know what you should try. And I'll try something. I'll go outside. Maybe I'll get some scenery. Maybe I'll get some new stuff to try. So anyway, guys, that's the morning report. I would love an update. Find out how things are going. If you guys want to have a Google Meet, get a group of friends, and we can just chat. Because you know what? We haven't been together for about 30 days, and maybe we should try something. So that's the morning report.